Hello there. Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Thank you, Renee, for sharing. Hello there, Mia. Glad to see you on. I am running a little bit late. Had a client call. Hey there, how you doing? Glad to see you on. Pastor Gilbert from New Jersey. Awesome. Hello there, M. Rogers. Good afternoon. Hey there. Whatever, Cedric. Glad to have you on. Glad to have you on. Hey there, Co-Pastor D. All right, sorry, y'all. Hold on one second. I was trying to send somebody a quick text update. Go ahead, hit the 3 buttons there in the bottom right-hand corner and let them know that your girl is on. Hello there, Marissa. Glad to see you on. Hey, Pastor Jamal. All right. Okay, good. Had to make sure I invited a few folks. So today I'm excited. We are, this is day 2. I'm doing church chat. I told you I'm back. I'm excited about it. And I'm doing it every Monday and Tuesday at 12 noon. Any other times are just considered bonuses, right? But I'm promising you, to the best of my ability, I will be on Monday and Tuesday at 12 noon doing church chat. And then I will follow that with my segment for entrepreneurs. And so the rest of my week, I just don't have that kind of time where I can be on every single day. So please forgive me, but I am giving you my best. I sound like Anita Baker, right? Giving you all the best that I got during the time that I am on. All right. So super excited about it. We did it yesterday. Make sure you go and watch the replay from yesterday. It was really, really good. And then today I am talking about weight. Pastor, before you post that sermon, yes, if you're like me, you've seen some sermons out there online and you're like, probably should have waited before they posted that, right? Right, we forgive you all for your sins, right? Oh, you talked about me. You are too funny. So go ahead and invite your pastor. If your pastor's not on, your church administrator, send it to somebody in leadership at your church, just whomever you think would be blessed by this message. And then, let me do my own little share. Let me make sure. Let's see. I'm sharing it on my Facebook. So give me 1 second. You will see that my screen may go away just for a second. All right. All right, good. Sorry about that. And then I am, let's see here, sharing it on Twitter, of course. And then this is a lot of work, right? Let's see here. Let me just make sure that went to the right one. Okay, good. All right. So it's going to be a really good topic. So I was recording something for my blog, and a lot of us see those praise break commercials on Instagram. Have you guys ever seen any of those? Give me some hearts if you have seen those and you've enjoyed the laugh of seeing, somebody going in and shouting, during a church service. Yep, I see the hearts. So yeah, you guys have seen them. But let me tell you something. People laugh at those, but I really feel like they do more of a disservice than they do of a service to the body of Christ. Now, I'm not trying to be all deep and spiritual and, raining on anybody's parade. I know that people are looking at those for a laugh, but if your church appears on, praise break commercial, and then, two things, right? It gives a bad look because a lot of people think that's all we do in church is just scream, holler, and then we leave broke. But that's another conversation. But the other piece to that is, if you work it right, it could be in your favor. For instance, any church that appears on there regularly should expect some traffic to come back to their website, should expect some traffic to their Instagram page, should expect some traffic to their YouTube, and of course should expect some traffic to their Facebook page. And so the question is, what value will that person find when they show up on those pages? So that's what I am here to talk about today. Wait before you post that next sermon online. Thank you so much. Like, I feel like I should read a scripture and then go into a prayer because I truly feel like I'm about to preach a message this morning. Give me some hearts. If you've never given me a super heart, go ahead and do that because I'm telling you, this is about to be, because I feel my preach coming on. But welcome to all of my first timers. I am excited to have you guys on. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you've never been on with me before, again, just put it in your calendar every Monday and Tuesday at 12 noon. That your church consultant, Robin Ware, is on teaching something that is going to bless your ministry. And for those of you that aren't familiar with me, my agency is the Ware Agency, and I'm blessed to work with churches and pastors. 99% of all my clients are churches and pastors or faith-based entrepreneurs. So I am pretty committed to my audience. And so that's why I'm teaching at 12 noon, Mondays and Tuesdays, about different church topics. So today, wait before you post that sermon online. I know churches that literally, as soon as the message is done, they take that content and they immediately put it online. And that's unfortunate because just like with a TV show, no one would shoot a television show and immediately put that raw footage out there for the world to see. And so it amazes me that unless a ministry has a television broadcast, they don't really think that it's important to go back in and edit the footage. But that couldn't be further from the truth. The World Wide Web, social media, it's actually a larger audience. It has a larger reach than a local broadcast that you may be going through the efforts of editing a broadcast for. And so you need to treat social media, the World Wide Web, with the same respect. I would never want to just put something out that represents me and my ministry, hey, Pastor Trina, on a regular basis without previewing it, without editing it, and then making sure that, here we go. Number one, is it something we're sharing? Just because you preached it doesn't mean it's worth sharing. Number one, just because you preached it doesn't mean it's worth sharing. We have to be honest with ourselves. Sometimes our messages are hits and sometimes they miss. Oh my goodness, I'm not going to get much love on that. Let me see if I get some hearts on that one. Look, y'all, I got 2 bottles of water today. Yep. But sometimes the messages are hits and sometimes they're miss, right? Right. That is so funny. Yeah. And so I hear you. Yeah, but you heard from God. That is so funny. Yeah. Sometimes the message you heard from God it's great, but the delivery is something that you didn't, follow through with. All right. Yep. And so that's good. Some messages are just for the flock. That's good. So, is it something worth sharing, right? Meaning, is there oil on it? Is there oil on it? Meaning, are lives going to be changed, or is that a message that's just for home? Our lives going to be changed. I know some of you say, oh, what do you mean, Elder Robin? Of course, lives are going to be changed. Sometimes messages are just for your flock, as Pastor Trina said. And so you have to decide, is this something worth sharing? All right. This is the same point, but is your lighting correct? Is your audio correct? There's nothing worse than listening to a message and the lighting isn't good. And so you're looking at this dark image. The audio's not clear. And so you're hearing all this popping, or it's too low. And then, oh my gosh, you, the pastor, are on the microphone saying, turn up my monitors, give me more of my wedges. I can't hear myself. You don't want to put that on display. Because what that then communicates is that your ministry is not operating in excellence. It means, and it's okay. Your ministry's still growing, but you got to think of a better way to communicate that need. And if you're not able to do that, then that's why it's important to go back in and edit. Yes, go in and edit. Take that out. You don't want public rebukes. And maybe it's not, as far as saying it's a public rebuke, but you don't know. You don't know how people could take it, and you don't want your method to distract people from the message. All right? That's not what you want to have happen. So you go in and you edit, right? Or like I said, you have some other way to communicate, hey, we need to, adjust the sound. And it's fine if you do a motion like this. But if you're fully going off, yeah, that's not something you want. I said it yesterday. You don't want the world to see your slip showing, right? Alrighty. So that's the first part of wait, Pastor, before you post that sermon. Number 2 is, do you have some way to measure that it's worth your time, effort, and energy to post these sermons? Meaning, do you have a tool in place to capture data so that you know that people are looking at this? You're asking your people to go through the efforts of editing your message, hopefully putting bumpers on it, adding lower thirds, all of that stuff, and putting it out there, and then nobody's listening to it. Nobody's viewing it. Well, how will you know if you don't have a measuring tool in place? Just because everybody's putting their messages out there does not mean that you too should put your message out there, right? We have to operate in ministry with intention. Absolutely. What about posting on Facebook Live? Now, I know a lot of ministries thank you for that question, sweetheart. I know a lot of ministries stream their messages on Facebook Live. Now, I'm actually a little torn with that. I do understand the value of reaching the masses. However, I would rather that you reach the masses when you're ready. I just don't think that everybody needs to see everything. And so if you're going to stream your messages on Facebook Live, you need to be ready. It's kind of the same thing as my point. Do you have a measuring tool in place to make sure that it's worth your time, your effort, and energy of your team to post the message or to even stream it on Facebook Live? At least when we were doing, the traditional streaming, people had to give you their email opt-in. Now, some churches weren't doing anything with the email opt-in, but that data was still there. And so you need some sort of tool so that you can measure that it is of value. All right. So make sure that you have some way to measure the validity of doing what's necessary to know if, examples of measuring tools, please. Let me think about that. And I'm only hesitating because I'm a church consultant, so I can't give away all my secrets and strategies. So I'm not hesitating because I don't know, but I'm trying to think what's the best way to answer that, because though I want to be a blessing, I also can't give away the secret ingredients, right? There's my Kim. Glad to see you on, sweetheart. So I'll think about that in just a second. But you do need some tools in place. One way I will tell you that you can measure, and it's not giving away a secret ingredient in my recipe, right? My strategies. And that's look at your analytics. It's simple. You can look and see it, how many people are viewing. You can look and see it, how many people watched, all of that. So that's one of the ways. You can do survey or poll. Those typically don't work though when you're doing, when you need to measure something every single time. Because people typically aren't going to participate in a poll or a survey every single time, right? And you need data. You need measuring tools for every single message that you put out. It's just like when you think about in a laboratory, they take multiple samples so that they can get a group of numbers and then take, the average. And so that's why you're not going to really get valid data if you only get a survey or do a poll off of one message, right? So that's why that's not really one of my recommendations. All right, so let me keep it moving. All right. So they do. Absolutely, sweetheart. They do work well. So that was my point number 2, was to have some way to measure that your tools or that your sermons, are making an impact. And then number 3, do you have a marketing plan to add legs to your sermon? Do you have a marketing plan, a strategy in place to add legs to your sermon? Now, I know you're like, Elder Ware, what are you talking about? I got the hiccups there for a second. You want to make sure, it's just like as an entrepreneur, I do things that create passive income, meaning that I only have to create something once and it has the ability to continuously generate wealth without me having to redo it. Your sermon should have the same effect. It should have legs. It should be able to continuously even reach people well beyond where you initially posted, right? So, for instance, I would post it on YouTube. Now, most people post their sermons on Facebook. They post them on their website. They upload in, MP4 file and they send it out. But that's not what I would do. I would put it on YouTube. YouTube gives it the ability to have legs. What do I mean by that? You can take that URL from YouTube and you can embed it wherever you need it to go. And people are comfortable with YouTube links. People aren't going to go through the trouble of downloading an MP4 or, trying to figure out how to get the code for a visual player and sharing it with their list, putting it on their Facebook page. That's just not what people really do. And so if you put it on YouTube, you get a few things. You'll get your link so that people, of course, can share. You get the opportunity, listen to this, to put in the description box what the message is about, who preached it, what are the points, and then, embed other links if you need to. I almost gave y'all another strategy. I had to catch myself there. But you can put things, I'll just say that, you can put things in the YouTube description box that will help you extend the life of that sermon. Now, let me just end this training with this. I am not of the opinion that you should post every single message. Now let that resonate. I'm really not. I think that what you should do, it's just like with television shows. Just because they record it doesn't mean they go with it. They'll go back in and reshoot it. Right? Now, of course, I know that you preach a sermon on Sunday. You're not going to go back and re-preach it and all that stuff. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you may want to choose that one sermon out of that month that is your heavy hitter and put your marketing efforts behind that one. One of the things I teach as a part of my, that's a good point too. Is that Apostle Kim? But thank you for that point. She said creating an appetite. It does. It creates interest, but more so than that, what it does is it gives your team time to really, expand your reach with that message. It also, as a part of my radical, that's what I was getting ready to say. Thank you, Holy Spirit. As a part of my hospitality, radical hospitality workshop, one of the things I teach is that you need to know who your audience is. And then you brand your messaging for that audience. So again, I'm a church consultant. And one of the things I do, I teach on entrepreneurship, but I don't send my entrepreneurship. Oh, you're in Chile. Good to see you. Great. I don't market my entrepreneurship items and trainings to my church consulting audience. It's two different audiences. And so the reason why I'm on at 12 noon doing church chat, and I specifically list this as church chat, is because that's the market that I'm branding this for. Now, can this be used by entrepreneurs? Of course it can. But because I'm a consultant, I know I am focused on who my ideal audience is for this message. Then as soon as I finish with this, I am going to do my message for an entrepreneur, right? So that I am speaking specifically to the correct audience. So you could take one of your 4 sermons, and if you are trying to, let me just block you. That block ministry is real today, right? But if you are trying to, for instance, reach your community, well, then you should teach, oh, thank you so much. Then you should teach messages about community engagement. Well, obviously, you're not going to teach 4 sermons out of the month all on how to connect with your neighbors, how to reach the community, how each one reach one. You're not going to do that every single Sunday of the month. That might be your message for the first Sunday. So then what you do is you take that message, and that's the message that you market for the month. And be smart about it. Chop that message up. People don't want to sit down and watch, first off, they don't want to watch a 2.5 hour church service. So if you're putting the whole message out there, stop that. And then when you're editing it so that you've only got, hopefully 30 to 45 minutes of a message, you really need to chop that up. So over the course of that week, you could share 6-minute sound bites, right? All from that same message. And even if your pastor doesn't say, well, this is point 1 and this is point 2, you can have your editing team go in and add bumpers. A bumper is just an intro to the video that says, hey, thank you for hanging out with, Elder Robin Ware this week. As you know, she's a church consultant who has a heart for excellence in ministry. She has got a quick message for you today that's helping you to grow in excellence. Boom. And then there's that message. That's 6 minutes. And you're done. Who cares that it's not attached to the whole 45-minute, sermonic performance? Uh-oh, did she say sermonic performance? I sure did. Yeah. So, because that's sometimes what we're giving them. Hey, Rhonda, glad to see you on, daughter. So, that's how you do that. All right? That's how, and see, that even goes back to what I was saying about putting legs onto a message, because those of us that sit through 45-minute messages, we're sitting there looking at our phones and our watches saying, is this over yet? So I don't know why we would think that people want to look at a full 45-minute message. Who has that kind of time to just sit? Y'all not gonna let me live that one down. But who has that kind of time to think that people, just going to sit there and listen to 45 minutes? Now, we may spend 45 minutes on Facebook, but it's not just to listen to one message. All right, so I'm done. Of course, I want to invite you to join my email list if you haven't already done so. All you have to do is text my last name, W-A-R-E, to the number 22828. I'll gladly take a couple questions before I have to get off and get back on to do my entrepreneur session. So text my last name, W-A-R-E, to the number 22828. Yes, make sure you take a screenshot. I appreciate those of you that have been joining. I got some great things that are coming. We will be launching prayerfully next week. I'm excited about it, and I'm seeing the new, I've been seeing those of you that have been jumping on and adding yourself to the list, so thank you so much. I know, right, Shantae? I've been missing you guys too, but I thank God for the money coming. So I just had to get a balance. I had to figure out what's the best way to do what I do. And so I know that, Shantae, we need to talk as well. But listen, I am so excited about what is about to come. So listen, share this message with your pastor. I'm telling you, this is going to change how your church does ministry. Do you agree? Yep. Give me some hearts if you agree. Good stuff. Thank you guys for the hearts. Thank you for hanging out with me. I just want to be a blessing to the kingdom. I appreciate you all for hanging out with me and allowing me to do just that. So, alrighty. Well, I'm about to hang up here, and then I'll be back on. Give me just a couple of minutes, and I will be back on with my entrepreneurs. God bless you. Oh, the text. Text WARE to the number 22828. Hey, glad to see you on, Rudico. Recommendation. I have to post in 2 languages. How can I reduce the stress of this? Wow, that is a great assignment. You're going to have to use some sort of translation app. That's what I would do. And if one doesn't exist, sweetheart, God just gave you your creative idea and witty invention. Yep, that's what you should do. Yep. And a great way to build a following is to get them, just like how I had you guys join my email list, is to get them to opt in and join you on an email list. To look, I'm jumping into my next message about teaching on sales funnels to my entrepreneurs. So jump back on and you'll learn a little something about what I'm going to share with you. But you want to get them on your email list in your sales funnel so that if you're not able to do the translation in real time, you can send it out later to that specific list. Even if you can do it in real time, I would still send it out to them. It'll make them feel special. And then I'm telling you, more engaged with your ministry. All right. God bless you. I will be right back on. So just give me a quick minute. Bye-bye.